What's up, everybody? Back again for another Webheads episode with me, your co-host, DeMarco. And who we got over here?
We got the main man, the storyteller of the day.
Those are self-given titles, not given by me.
Those are known by everybody. Steven, I'm back. We're here with part 2 of the Kree-Skrull War.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, wait. Should we give like a quick recap of what happened in the first episode?
We should.
If I remember correctly, Ronan the Accuser came to Earth to kill Captain Marvel.
Yes, with the Sentry.
With the Sentry, he was called back to Hala, their home planet.
Yes.
Because they were attacked by the Skrulls.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he got a phone call saying that they were under attack.
Yes.
And a war has started.
The American people now know there's a war. And the Americans want Captain Marvel as, because they think he's a traitor.
Yeah.
A spy. And so they want him arrested, but the B team let him go.
The Avengers B team let him go.
Yeah.
To protect him.
And then the Avengers were told, the B team were told that the Avengers were dissolved because they broke some guidelines.
They broke the team bylaws, so they decided you break one rule, we tear everything apart.
Yeah. So at this point, the B team thinks there's no more Avengers.
Yes. Until Vision needs help. So he makes his way to where the A team of the Avengers, or the former Avengers, were. And he runs into Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, and collapses in front of them. And then once he's saved by Hank Pym, he comes to the conclusion that the A team of Avengers that canceled everything and kicked him out of Avengers townhouse was not actually our friends Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. They were imposters.
They're planted
imposters. And so here we are.
Yeah, so team has been kind of dissolved, kind of not. There's imposters impersonating our heroes. We got people on the run. A war has started. Earth is in the middle of it. Here we go.
So right now, Vision, once he got struck by that light beam, it pushed him underground.
Damn.
It made him phase through the ground, so he was just stuck under there.
Oh, it made him phase.
Yeah. And then once he got underground, he went solid again.
Oh, damn.
So he was no use, and it drained him of his power, so he was of no use down there. So that's why Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver got kidnapped. Mm. But once he gains his consciousness back, he gets up just enough energy to float from the hideout that Captain Marvel was at in upstate New York all the way back down to New York City to Avengers Mansion. He just floats. And it's not like he's like he's like if you lay down on the ground and put your arms to the side and then you just lift off the ground, he floats like that all the way.
Wait, like hovering above the ground?
Yeah. Like, I mean, up in the air,
okay.
But he stays in like that laying down like formation.
And he's unconscious or turned off?
No, he's like, he has enough awareness to know where he's going. But he stays in like that laying down form all the way from upstate New York to New York City.
Man, like, you live in New York at that time and you're just like, you look up and you just see this green and yellow, just humanoid looking thing just floating across the sky. And you're just like, what the hell?
Is that the Vision? What is he doing? Like, it's already like, I can't even imagine living in a world where superheroes are real in the first place. But for them to be real and for that to be happening, that's still got to be kind of weird.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
And like, what do you tell your friends when you go back to school that week? I saw the Vision just floating. Oh, yeah, he always does that. No, he was just laying down in the air. So he floats all the way from the hideout to Avengers Mansion back in New York City. And now we're back in present times. Vision is an Avenger again. And now they're on the hunt to figure out who the fake Fantastic Four that he fought, or that fought around him, actually is. We leave the A-Team, and we find out pretty quickly that the fake Fantastic Four were...
Skrulls.
There we go. Defeated by the Fantastic Four many years ago. Reed Richards hypnotized them into thinking they were cows until a light beam sent from the Skrulls in space revived them. That same light beam that hit Vision. So it hit Vision, went through him, pushed him into the ground, and it hit the cows.
And then made them remember who they were.
Yeah, there we go. We're on the same page now.
That's a lot.
It's convoluted. There's a lot going on in this story. The Skrulls have Captain America and Carol trapped as well, but they leave them unattended when the A-Team of Avengers show up to squabble.
Wait, they have Captain America?
No, sorry, Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have Captain Marvel and Carol trapped. But the A-Team shows up, and they're ready for a fight.
Put them up.
It's not going to go well for the Skrulls. Captain Marvel breaks free, and then he decides that he needs help against the Skrulls, so he steals another ship. And then
I'll be back. I just need to get help. I'll be back.
But then he only uses the ship to send a message back to the Skrull Empire. He doesn't go anywhere with it.
I'm glad he doesn't have any kids. He'd be the... I'm going to get a pack of cigarettes. I'll be back.
Yeah. And he's just never coming back.
He crashes the car. And then flies the rest of the way where he's going.
So before he can send out that message, he slowly starts to realize that Carol isn't who she claims she is.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
She called him Mar-Vell, and the real Carol doesn't know him by that name. So we find out that Carol is a Super Skrull.
A Super Skrull, not just a regular Skrull.
The Super Skrull.
Oh, the Super Skrull.
He's the one who has all of the powers of the Fantastic Four.
So, maybe I'm wrong. So, Super Skrull, he has one thing arm, right? Or he just has all the powers, right?
He looks like a Skrull, just a normal Skrull, but he can, at the snap of a finger, he can use any of the Fantastic Four's powers. He can stretch out like Reed. He can turn into the thing. He can flame on like Johnny. And I'm assuming he can go invisible like Susan. But in none of the stories I've read with him in it, I've never seen him go invisible. But they say he has all the powers of all four.
Okay.
But regular Skrulls can just transform into anything else that they see.
But he can do... Super Skrulls can... Is there only one Super Skrull, or is he the...
Yeah, it's just the ones. He's the Super Skrull.
So he can keep, like, their powers.
Yeah.
And,
Like, he always has their powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the other Skrulls can just transform into, like, the... I don't think they gain, like, the same powers.
Okay.
Yeah, so we figure out that Carol is a Super Skrull. So he has those powers as well, and he can transform into anything else. So his plan is to take Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Captain America back to his planet. And then the A-Team is still fighting those Skrulls, and they get defeated, which is surprising. And they let the Skrull ship get away. They're all bummed out. Clint forgot to take his growth serum, so he shrunk mid-fight. So he went from Goliath to just Clint size mid-fight.
How do you forget to take the thing that gives you your powers?
Man, I don't... Iron Man's suit has a hole burned through it. And Super Skrull is flying away with Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Mar-Vell. And unknowingly Vision. Vision just kind of made his way to the ship and just held on.
Were you trying to save Wanda?
Yeah. The A-Team doesn't know where he's at.
Okay.
So, so they unknowingly have Vision on there as well. And Super Skrull says that he wants to go attack the Inhumans as well. He doesn't like the way they advanced either.
Wait, so Ronan doesn't like the way humans advanced, and Super Skrull doesn't like the way Inhumans advanced?
Yeah, pretty much. So he drops a bomb on the Inhumans, but somehow it doesn't kill anybody. He missed completely.
It's a warning bomb.
Yeah. So it doesn't kill anyone, and he says, "You know what? Forget this," and he just starts flying back home. He tried once. It didn't work, and he was like, "Whatever, man. I'm not." And then finally, Vision comes out of hiding, and then they start fighting. But Vision knows that he can't win the fight because Super-Skrull is just too powerful, and so he phases out of the ship, just kind of giving up at that point and saying goodbye to Wanda because he can't save her. When Super-Skrull gets back into his home, he starts getting shot at by all the King's forces, all the King's men. The King tries to murder Super-Skrull, and then he commandeers the ship basically, and he takes Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Captain Marvel from the ship and realizes what he actually has on the ship, like the power that he has on the ship.
What? So Super-Skrull has them on the ship.
Super-Skrull kidnapped them from Earth. He gets back home
to his planet,
and then his king sends every bullet that he has at the Super-Skrull ship in order to kill him. You'll understand later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this another flashback?
No. This is current time. So he commandeers the ship. He steals those three off: Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Captain Marvel. And then he realizes the power that he now has between the three of them. He gets excited about it because he knows that with Captain Marvel's power, he can change his planet's fortune greatly in their favor. So he sends Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver through a portal to some random planet. He doesn't give a shit about them at all. I couldn't think of a different word to say there, but he does not care. And he makes Marvel watch Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch on this new planet, he makes them watch them through a screen while they fight all these monsters on the other planet. And they're losing the fights pretty badly. And the only way the king says he's going to bring them back to safety is if Captain Marvel agrees to give him the secret of this thing called the Omni Wave. So the Omni Wave, Captain Marvel and the Kree Empire use as a way to communicate from a far distance. But the Skrulls know that they can flip it and use it as a weapon of destruction. I don't know how they know that. But he knows that Captain Marvel's the only way he's going to get it. And now that he has this bargaining token in front of him, he's going to try to use it. So Captain Marvel agrees. But now that means that because he agreed, millions of Kree people are going to die because of that. All to save two people, basically. So, I guess take it how you will. And then back on Earth, the Avengers are trying to figure out how to save their friends that just got taken into space, while simultaneously avoiding being arrested because H.W. Craddock is still outside of their home with these things called Mandroids.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't know what those are, they're basically just regular soldiers inside of these, machines. Well, there's a movie where, was it Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
Where they walk around in these big robots, basically. Yeah. They basically look like that, but all gold. So Craddock is outside of the Avengers townhouse, just waiting. He's like, "Hey, you guys got to get out of here. You guys are getting arrested." Did you know that Iron Man has roller skates built into his suit?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's an odd thing.
It's like the toys that you use, like if you go to Target or something and you look at the toys.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man has like a motorcycle and Spider-Man has like a boat.
Yeah. I've never seen this before. What the hell's he have roller skates on for? Yeah, so I threw that part in there because it was very interesting to me. And then we see an Inhuman named Triton. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's
the green guy, right?
Yeah, like an amphibian kind of lizard-looking guy. He shows up out of nowhere from a manhole in front of Avengers' townhouse, And Clint immediately calls the dogs on him, and Clint calls him a secondhand submariner. And Triton claims he left his home with 3 friends, and now he can't find them, and he thinks they made their way to California. And he goes to the Avengers because he thinks that they can help him find them.
Where did they start off at? Like, you're in New York, bud.
I don't know. I don't know how they made it that far. You came out of a manhole. I don't know where the hell they are. You got a long way ahead of you, buddy. So he goes to the Avengers to ask for help, and then Captain America is all for it. Like, he doesn't have 3 friends that are like in space.
Yeah, this does not seem like the time to help some green guy get out of the sewer.
So Captain America was like, yeah, let's go do it. And then Vision's like, yo, Wanda is in space right now. She needs to be saved. And then this is where like Captain America was like, why is he so up in arms about this? Like, it wasn't like, oh no, my teammate's in space, I need to save her first, and then we can help you. It was just, why is Vision so worried about her? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, Vision's pissed off, and he's like, no, we're not helping you. We're going up into space. He's like, yeah, what about Wanda and Quicksilver and Captain Marvel? Like, what about them? And he's just being like hella cagey about it. So they end up splitting up the team. And Cap, Goliath, and Rick, because why not? They go with Triton to find his friends. And the rest of the team, which is Iron Man and Thor, go with Vision to save everybody else. Their teammates.
I feel like Captain America's mission is the equivalent of my cat got stuck in a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, it pretty much is.
He just doesn't want to work that day.
No. It's it's like when you call out and you're like, oh, I got a flat tire. I got to wait for them to tow my car. And then, like, you don't even have a car. Your boss sees you pull up in the bus every day. Oh, when did you get a car? Oh, I just got it yesterday. So we make a quick switch to Captain America and the guys that he's with. They just got to San Francisco, and they find Triton's friends, which is Black Bolt and some kid that he's running around with.
So Black Bolt and some kid.
Yes, he said he had 3 friends. Yeah, he said he had 3 friends, but we only run into 2. So, and they don't ever explain what happened to the 3rd friend. So Black Bolt's just hanging around with some kid, some orphan kid, and
what are they doing? Just chilling, drinking coffee or something?
Mm-hmm. Just hanging out, being buds. Somebody's shooting at Black Bolt. Some gangsters are trying to like just kill Black Bolt and the kid for some reason.
They took a wrong turn in Oakland.
Yeah, and then they get
or Richmond.
Basically any of those places. So they end up getting saved by Cap and his team, and now everyone's on their way to go help Vision because it all happened so quickly.
Vision, so pointless.
Yeah, but get this, Vision and his friends haven't left town yet. Like, at all.
So Captain America was able to go from New York to San Francisco or California.
Yeah.
And then these fools still haven't even left.
Yeah, they haven't left town, and they're busy fighting those mandibles that are outside the building. Like, you guys can fly. All 3 of you guys can fly. You don't have to go down to the ground to fight these people. Just fly over them and go do what you got to do. Your destination is space.
Literally up.
Yeah, you just have to go up. That's it.
I know these things aren't even making like a move to like get inside the building.
No, they're just standing there like, hey, you guys got to get out here. So after they're done fighting the mandibles, Vision decided it's best to go help Triton instead of going to space first. So the first stop they make is to have Vision transport them to San Francisco. But the guys from San Francisco are already on their way back.
This is not going anywhere.
No. So Captain America and his team are already on their way to space. And they make a pit stop at Nick Fury's outer space vacation home.
Is that what it's called? Or is that what you called it?
That's what I called it. I couldn't think of what else it was. But Nick Fury was just up there, like, in his pajamas, like, relaxing. He was in a shirt and, like, sweatpants. So, what else are you supposed to call it? So, yeah, they stop there, get a little briefing from Nick, and then they take off again. And as soon as they reach the Andromeda Galaxy, which is where the Skrull planet is, they're met by a large fleet of Skrull ships ready to blast them away, and they decide it's a good idea to go at them with 4 small ships and Iron Man. And it somehow works. When they try to commandeer the Skrull ship, they're met with a live Zoom call from the Skrull King showing the Avengers that one of their men they came to save is helping the Skrulls build a death ray. So everybody's like, well, we came to save Captain Marvel and the rest of these guys, and Captain Marvel's helping the people that kidnapped him build a death ray.
Yeah.
So they're like, what the hell? Like, just give us our other 2. But we find out that Captain Marvel just had a hologram there in his place, acting like he was building something, and he had snuck off. Because that's his best thing he's good at, is sneaking off and just doing stuff.
And this hologram is not part of his power set, correct? He can't create holograms.
I didn't
do your jobs, people, right? And make it make sense.
I've never seen him make a hologram of himself, but he did it here. So with the hologram in his place, he's hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. The king isn't playing these games because the king just also found out that it's a hologram. So he's not playing these games. So he's like, you know what? Screw this. Send a nuclear warhead to Earth. Just blow up the whole thing. And then, meanwhile...
It's such a... Just like, I'm bored. Just send a missile.
So after Cap and his team had commandeered that Skrull ship, Rick Jones, there was still some Skrulls on there. Or sorry, the Kree people had shown up as well. So Rick Jones got captured by some of the Kree people, and he gets sent to where Ronan is, and Ronan beats the crap out of him. He just just beats him, and then he takes him to the Supreme Intelligence. And in this story, like how we were talking about the editing and how bad it is, like in some of the panels they call him the Intelligence Supreme, and then in other ones they call him the Supreme Intelligence. So it got really confusing for me, and I didn't look up to see which was correct. So it just switches back and forth. So yeah, Ronan takes Rick to the Intelligence Supreme, and then in a callback to episode 9 that we just did, the Intelligence Supreme is made up of the mightiest minds of the Kree past. He's basically Zordon, like you said. He explains, and that wasn't episode 9, that was 11.
Yes,
yeah.
That 9.
And then he explained that Intelligence Supreme, or Supreme Intelligence, explains that his weak brainwaves are the accidental cause of H.W. Craddock going after the Avengers, and he needs Rick's help. He states that Rick will be the deciding factor of this war, and then Rick gets sucked back into the negative zone, which he hasn't been in for a really long time at this point.
Yeah.
So, while he's talking to the Supreme Intelligence, he gets sucked back into the negative zone. I don't remember if I've mentioned this at this point, but Clint has decided to stop. After he forgot he didn't take his growth serum, at this point in the story, he's decided that he's not going to take it anymore. So he's just a normal sized man dressed as a dominatrix in space.
With no actual powers?
With no now he's just basically Rick in a dominatrix outfit. He doesn't have any arrows or anything. What's he supposed to do? And now is where we start the final issue. As soon as Rick hits a negative zone, he's met by a nihilist who tries to kill him, but Rick's body has other plans, and he shoots out a beam from his forehead, and he doesn't know how that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Forehead beams.
Yeah.
Super unpredictable.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. And he also calls the nihilist Batman. I like... A nihilist doesn't necessarily look like a bat, so I ruled out the fact that he was just...
Was it like in an insult? Like, he was like...
No, he was just like... Rick just describes things in like a real like teenage, like teeny bopper kind of way. So like in next week's story, he calls Thanos Big T.
Something you call a friend, someone you've known for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he knows Thanos on a personal
He doesn't.
level where you can call him Big T.
Yeah, somebody who's coming to ruin and destroy your whole planet. You call him Big T.
In one of the ones I was reading, Spider-Man makes a blatant reference to Superman and saying, this is almost as bad as if Superman had kryptonite in his phone booth. And I just thought to myself, what was happening in the 70s that are so easy just...
It was so, like, I think that the companies were probably just not as, like, contentious as they are, like, now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I digress. Yeah, he calls the nihilist Batman. And then, after learning that he, for some reason, has cosmic powers now, Rick makes his way out of the negative zone, and he finds himself back in front of the Supreme Intelligence, who then tells him to reach deep down and access his powers. So he does so by remembering all the superheroes that he read about when he was growing up, which is kind of a meta thing, because like Rick says, like, when he grew up, he was reading Captain America comics and Namor comics.
Well,
I can kind of see, Human Torch.
Captain America, like, you know, like he was like a war, like...
Yeah, because even in the movies they had... Like,
yeah, so I can see that.
Yeah.
But, like, no more, like, no one's making comics about it.
I'm pissed that he's in everything that we read. So he's... in order to reach deep down and access those powers, he does so by remembering all the superheroes he read about growing up. And everyone he thinks about shows up out of thin air in front of him to fight for him.
Oh, it's like what the Rise of Skywalker should have been.
Yeah. So they pop out in thin air in front of him to help fight against Ronin. Which ends up bringing out carbon copies of Captain America, Namor, the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond, the Patriot, Vision, the Blazing Skull, the Finn, and Angel. Throughout the fight, they all start to fade, and now Rick is in trouble because the only thing that he has left to defend himself with is that cosmic beam that he shot from his forehead. But when he shoots that out, it doesn't hit Ronin at all. So it shoots basically down to Earth. It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you this right now. It shoots down to Earth and then back up. Like, it basically reflects off of Earth and then hits the Skrull, the Skrull galaxy. It doesn't. I told you it doesn't make sense.
I'm going to act like this is normal and then I understand what you just said.
But what it does is the cosmic beam that he shot out ends up freezing all of the Skrulls, all of the Kree people at a complete standstill. We get a flash of the cosmic beam reaching Earth, and the only person that it affects down there is H.W. Craddock.
Oh, no.
Which leads us to finding out that he's actually the fourth Skrull that Reed had hypnotized into thinking that they were cows. But that he tried to hypnotize. For some reason, this fourth Skrull made his way out of the situation. And for some reason, Reed didn't go figure out what the hell is going on here. So, H.W. Craddock is the only one on Earth that actually ends up freezing. And then back at the Kree ship, Rick passes out from the stress, and the Supreme Intelligence teleports all of the Avengers, including Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, back to Rick, except for Goliath.
He doesn't get teleported back?
Nope. They find we're just gonna skip past that right now, and they find out that the only way Rick will survive is if Captain Marvel gives him his whole life force, and they become one again, which would mean that they would have to keep switching in and out of the negative zone again. That's the only way Rick's gonna survive. Actually, sorry, no, they won't be able to switch out. So they would become one, but Captain Marvel would be the one that is stuck in the negative zone for good. That's the only way. Captain Marvel does it because he learned of the sacrifices that Rick made to save basically everybody, the Avengers, all of Earth. So with all the Kree and Skrull frozen, the Supreme Intelligence sends the Avengers and Cosmic Rick back to Earth like nothing ever happened. And in the minds of the Kree and the Skrulls, I guess them being frozen like that actually wiped their minds. I don't know how far back. But to them, nothing did ever happen. And to end it all, we find out that Clint never made it back to Earth. So he was up there on that ship fighting the Skrulls, and he wasn't taking his growth serum. So he had no powers, he had no weapons. We find it out that he never made it back to Earth.
Oh, no.
And we're not sure. At this moment, we're not sure if he died, but that's the end of the story.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's it.
So
that is the Kree-Skrull War.
What do you rate this?
Jumping right into ratings, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It wasn't that bad. Towards the end, it got a little like messy.
Yeah, I feel like I need to read it.
Yeah. I do recommend that everybody reads this.
Yeah, explanation-wise, even for a comic book, this is confusing.
Yeah. It starts with Captain Marvel and Rick being just like tossed around like in and out of the negative zone, and then Captain Marvel goes to Florida and rides into the Sentry, and then and that's done with, and then the Sentry and Ronin end up in Alaska.
I think what makes it so confusing is just there's just so many characters.
Yeah,
there's so many characters. There's so many.
It's hard keeping track of the teams.
Yeah, keeping track of the teams, who's where, what they're doing, who's doing. Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is definitely one that like if you can read it to understand, because this is probably going to be not like every episode, but going forward, we're getting into like more story arcs and
we're getting into more story arcs, more like actual big events, more crossovers.
Where there's going to be a lot of characters at play, and
there's a lot more tie. Like once you start hitting like the '90s stuff, like there's tons of tie-ins.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like I mean, this one I did like it, but I would definitely recommend that people read through it.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do them justice when we just talk about them or explain the story. Like,
no, because like we leave some of the stuff out because like I otherwise then I'm just gonna sit here and read the 9 issues word for word for you guys.
Yeah,
and that doesn't make sense to do, but
because the pictures are part of like the story too. That's like half of the storytelling. Like, if you just explain the bubbles, like of course it's not going to make sense. But as you're seeing it, then everything kind of like. It plays in your head, and you can kind of see it all happen.
Part of the reason, like, I like doing this is, like, when we were growing up, like, Dad would be, like, we'd listen to a song, and then Dad would, like, oh, like, you hear that beat behind it? Like, that's this song. And then, like, let's listen to that song. So it's, like, I would, like, even now, I still go back and listen to, like, I'll listen to a song and then find out where the sample is. And then, like, go back and like listen to like the sample. What else did they put out? So it's like I like reading stuff like this because it makes me appreciate the stuff that we're getting now more. Because I understand a little bit more about it, and then like if more characters pop up in these newer movies, I'm not as lost, and then I don't have to go back and read it and try to figure out who they are. So it's just like sometimes the history sucks and and the present day makes it a little bit better, but sometimes the history is like pretty dope and then like it just adds to what you're getting now.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just if you can read, I want to read it now.
Yeah, if you know how to read, then you should definitely read it.
Again, use our favorite app that's not sponsoring us, the Marvel Unlimited app.
Marvel.
Just updated it. It's a little bit easier. There's some things I wish they would keep, but but overall, I mean, I liked where it went. I think in the books, you can probably see more of the actual war.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like there was much of a war.
To be honest with you, it wasn't much. Like I think it was a 9-issue run. I want to say the war itself was maybe like 1 full issue.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't much. It was more just the fact that like the Kree and Skrulls were battling with each other, and like you can see why. But I'm sure like when other stories later on reference the Kree-Skrull War, I'm sure there's more to the story like elsewhere in other comics that like probably further this, because from what I understand, they don't ever stop fighting with each other.
Yeah, I think they've been like enemies for like centuries.
Yeah. So what are you giving it?
I think I'll go with yours. Same. What did you say? 3.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you gonna go with mine and not know what I gave it?
Because I knew it was like a 3. I gave it a 3.5. Yeah, it was good. I liked all the different. I like that we're getting new characters that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
And new concepts, like cosmic space, the negative zone, which we really didn't talk about too much on what the negative zone is. But it's basically just another dimension.
Basically, yeah.
Is different than ours. Yeah. It was cool. I'm excited to see where we go next. I know you've mentioned that we're gonna meet Thanos soon, so
yeah,
that'll be exciting.
We have the Thanos War.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be another 2-parter.
Probably.
That one's a little bit better. This one was good. I can't like shit on it. It wasn't bad, but yeah, like we've said a million times already, it's better if you like read it.
Yeah.
But the Thanos Wars, I've read that one before too, though.
Okay.
But yeah, we're here and now we're leaving. This is the second episode of us recording in person now.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's much better.
Yeah.
I can see you. There's no lag.
It's there's no lag. I feel like it flows better.
Yeah.
And I possibly won't have to edit it as much. So that makes it a lot easier. Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back again next week.
Oh, are you changing your team at all?
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
Not changing the team?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to change my team this week.
Okay.
Only because next week I think I definitely want. I think I know who I want next week already. And I can't think of who I want to give up right now.
Understandable.
My team's solid as it is, but I know of who I want next week. So we might have to rock, paper, scissors for who goes next week, who goes first next week. But yeah, that was part 2 of the Kree-Skrull War. That's hard to say.
The Kree-Skrull War.
Yeah.
Kree-Skrull War.
5 times fast.
Kree-Skrull War. Kree-Skrull War.
See? Now you're saying something different.
Roar.
Roar. See, it doesn't work. But, yeah, that's part 2. Down the drain. Another one coming up next week. I'm done.
All right, guys.
See ya.
See you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.